All right. A gump goodness. A little short gump. A little short gump goodness. You never know what you're going to get in a gump goodness or a gump report. I'll botch. And I actually had to do a video because I wanted to say something correctly. I messed up and I'm redoing it again. But let us go to Andrade. Let's make this very clear. And I'm going to say this right now. I looked over the information as best as I can. I am not someone who knows about the legal system, but I will tell you what I do understand in my opinion. I want to make this clear. This opinion. Okay? This is the situation. Right now, it's already been reported. I only saw a little bit of it on NoDQ.com briefly, but I didn't really look into it much. But then when I saw I saw JD did a video and then I see his video and I'm going, oh damn, I better go and check the website. And I did. I also checked another website on top of that to see if I can get at least a basic understanding of what we're dealing with here. And this is the situation. Andrade came back more than a month ago. He destroyed Kenny. He was there once and then he disappeared. Well, guess what? He can't wrestle right now. He is stuck. If you didn't know already, Andrade El Idolo cannot wrestle right now due to the fact of something that I've been saying for quite a while. WWE is pure corporation. WWE is now a pure corporation. It was not. I want to make this clear. When you see Vince as the owner of WWE, everyone's going to say he ran the company, he made it into a corporation. It never was a full corporation. Vince was never a CEO of his company. He was a wrestling promoter. This is what people do not understand. A CEO and a wrestling promoter are two different animals. And that is what we got here. Vince was never, and I repeat, never a businessman. You're going to say, well, he ran the promotion. He ran a business. Yeah, but he was not a businessman who ran corporation. He was a man who ran a wrestling promotion. He wrote for the promotion. He was basically a wrestler at one point as in the promotion. In WWE, he didn't just commentate. He didn't just do actual bits. He didn't just 100% get in the ring. He was a wrestler, a wrestling promoter, a manager, and even a ref at one point. He'd done it all. So he is a promoter. When he wanted to be more, he tried to be a businessman. That's what he was. And he tried to orientate WWE as a corporation. Tried. In most cases, he did. But he was still not a CEO. He still was not a businessman. Let's make it very clear. He wasn't. After leaving, a real businessman took over who does not write for the company, who really doesn't really care about the company other than making this. There's a difference between Vince investing heavily to make the company work because he got it from his father and he built it with passion. Of course, by the end, he didn't really care anymore and he was writing like shit, but you get my point. So here's the situation. Andrade basically failed at least 1, 2, or more wellness checks. That was the main reason he got fired. And understand, this year, WWE, who is a part of Silver Lake Global. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. It's not called International. It's called Silver Lake Global. Silver Lake Global owns Endeavor, owns TKO, owns UFC, owns WWE, and they were ordered to update their contracts. Ari, who is not the owner of Endeavor, but the CEO of it, just in case you don't know, Ari Emanuel does not own Endeavor anymore. He does not own TKO, he doesn't own UFC, he doesn't own WWE. It was bought out by a company called Silver Lake. So he stays as the CEO. He sent that down the pike, an update to the contracts for the wrestlers. And it looks like, from what has already been stated, that Andrade was fired. He was not released. There's a difference. Andrade was released. He would have had a non-compete clause, 90 days. He would have been notified. You have been released. You have a 90-day non-compete clause. You cannot wrestle anywhere. You must wait 90 days. That's it. End of story. But before 2025, the old contract stated if you got fired, you can just go to work anywhere you want because there's no non-compete. That is only if you're released by the company. If you're released under that category that they're letting you go, but you have to be under this category, that's one thing. But he failed more than one wellness check, so he got fired. But it seems this year they updated their contracts and made it clear that if you are fired too, or there was some incident you had to be fired because of either failing the wellness or some type of dispute in the company where you may have done some type of violence or whatever, or harassment, whatever it is, you are still non-compete. And it seems that either Andrade didn't know that, which I'll be surprised that he probably didn't. And then maybe, I think he should have at least checked his contract to understand what he was going to be under. But if he didn't, that is on him. But then it's also Tony. Because Tony, and understand guys, there are people in both companies that are giving information to each other. WWE has spies in it, and AEW has spies for either one. And I'm sure they were told, WWE is updating their contracts. Someone had to tell Tony's team that was a thing. But Tony, wanting to sign Andrade back really quickly, did not check to see if he could be non-compete or not. And now Andrade's not allowed to wrestle. There is a stop and desist. I believe that's what it's called. He has been ordered, Andrade and AEW. You cannot wrestle. If you do, we will sue you. And now they're demanding Andrade not to be allowed to wrestle for 1 year. What does this mean? Simply put, I'm going to say this truthfully. They're going to probably do one of two things. Either Andrade's just going to sit on his ass at home for the next year and do nothing. And as we already know from Tony Khan, he's already done that to people like Camille, like Ricky Saints now, which was Ricky Starks back there, and Warlow, and several other people who were not injured. He would just make them sit home and do nothing so Andrade could stay home. Or they may fight it in court and maybe might win. It's going to be a hard one to go to court and see if you can find a way not to let this happen, because this might be something that AEW may go and pursue and may fight, but it's also a possibility Andrade may just stay home. Honestly, I don't know which one it is, but whichever it is, we're going to be hearing about it over the next couple of weeks or couple of months, because sooner or later we're going to get more people released, because WWE has released already 14 people. Andrade has been fired from the company. They were just released. You may get another person who gets fired, and they may go through the same thing Andrade, and this will be a controversy unless it's either fought or they're just going to be stuck at home. I don't know which one, but you guys tell me below. And I know this is more than a minute over, or near a minute over, what I normally do for Gump Goodness, but I'm going to still upload it as a Gump Goodness. I hope you enjoy this. I will be doing Wrestle Dream later today. Peace.